The Spanish brought chocolate to Europe. Because it was bitter, it was used as a medicine to treat stomach ailments. It was sugar that made it a drinking delight. Louis XIV made his own chocolate drink. Chocolate candy happened in Europe, that continent of capitalists hungry to make a fortune. Hot chocolate entered royal courts early in the 17th century, and London had a coffee shop at least by 1657. Cacao production had to increase, ground chocolate had to be reasonably priced, molded chocolate created, and demand had to be ravenous. How did it happen? In addition to capitalism, Europe was noted for developing science, then applied it to chocolate. First, the fat was extracted from the beans to make cocoa and cocoa butter. Perhaps the first guy to consider as the candy man was Conrad van Houten, who invented Dutching around 1815, suggesting where Van Houten came from. This was an alkaline treatment to remove the bitter taste. He later created a press to remove about half the cocoa butter from the chocolate liqueur, which improved quality and lowered production costs. Joseph Fry was part of the Fry chocolate business in Bristol. He used a Watt steam engine to grind cocoa beans. Using the Dutching process, J.S. Fry and Sons figured out how to mold chocolate by adding back cocoa butter and invented the first chocolate bar in 1847. Unfortunately, these first attempts were bitter, brittle, and not that popular. Fry's chocolate cream did become the first successful mass produced bar beginning in 1866. Birmingham grocer John Cadbury experimented with cocoa. That led to a chocolate bar in 1849, which received a royal warrant to provide chocolate to Queen Victoria in the mid 1850s. Later photos of the Queen indicated she ate way too much of it. The business increased as quality was improved. Cadbury invented fancy boxes in a heart shape for Valentine's Day from 1868, then chocolate Easter eggs in 1875 by using pure cocoa butter, which could be molded into the right shape. Fry and Cadbury were candy rivals, then merged in 1919. Swiss entrepreneur Daniel Peters experimented with milk to reduce bitterness and use less of the still expensive cocoa in the 1850s. The result was milk chocolate, which had the unfortunate habit of spoiling because the water in the milk caused mildew. Peter cooperated with Henry Nestle, who invented condensed milk. By the 1870s, Peter's chocolate had viable milk chocolate bars. Henry Nestle's solution for an improved bar was to use sweetened condensed milk to solve the mildew problem. After several years of research, the improved product was brought to market in 1875 in partnership with Daniel Peters, which became Nestle Company in 1879. Swiss giant Nestle is now the world's largest food and beverage company. Candy making did not stop with Fry, Cadbury, and Nestle. In Switzerland, Lindt and Springley started solid chocolate production in 1845. Many got their start in the late 19th and early 20th century. As prices came down, production and consumption went up, along with tooth decay and dental care. It started with the aristocracy. Marie Antoinette brought her own chocolate maker to Versailles, who made round chocolate pistoles. French chocolate candy for the masses started with Menier, initially a pharmaceutical company. Bayonne became the chocolate capital with multiple chocolatiers. Chocolate shops became common throughout the country in the 20th century. Chocolate arrived in Antwerp in the 17th century. Belgium is most noted for the praline with a soft center and chocolate coating. Belgian truffles were wafers coated with high quality cocoa and any number of added ingredients. Major manufacturers included Godiva and Newhouse, followed by dozens of other brands, plus small shops around the country. It started with Van Houten and Dutching. As a capitalist leader, Holland produced chocolate for profit and trade. Several brands developed in the 19th century, like Droust and Verkada. German chocolate cake was developed by Samuel German in Dallas, Texas. We'll cover that later. There are chocolate manufacturers in Germany, with Milka the most well known, founded in 1901. With multiple chocolate candy makers throughout Europe using different approaches, Europeans arguably became the world's candy consumer champs. The manufacturers claim their chocolate has a smoother, richer flavor with a higher fat content because of the greater amount of cocoa butter. The chocolate is darker, richer, and less sweet. Cacao is a tropical plant, so the farming must be equatorial. Big capitalist corporations have a history of treating workers poorly, so it's not unexpected that the major chocolate companies have been accused of using slave labor to grow cacao. About two-thirds of the world's production is in Western Africa, with the Ivory Coast and Ghana major producers. It's not considered slavery, but the workers are treated and paid poorly. The big manufacturers buy their beans from middlemen and claim they are not responsible. Although chocolate came from the New World, America was a latecomer. It did happen, and chocolate candy became well represented in the US. How it happened next time on Food History and Mystery.